Hey everybody, it's an early Sunday morning in July, and figured I'd sneak down to the shop, and before anybody wakes up, I'd knock out part 20 in the May 2017 estate sale find series. This is going to be box number 3 of the 4 boxes from the last trip, which was the 5th trip out to this estate to buy items. And as of yesterday, I still haven't been able to get in contact with the seller. He's been out of town, so this may very well be the last of this estate. All right, so let's take a few items out of the box and dive right in. All right, well, the first item I spotted is a surface gauge. So that would explain the surface gauge rod inscriber that I found in the earlier box. I don't see a maker anywhere on this. Seems like a pretty decent one. I mean, it could be shop made, but if it is, somebody took the time to put this crinkle finish on it, which is what makes me think that it's not, that it's a commercially made one. The other thing that's kind of unusual about this one, I think, is that it's got this fixture on the end here. Usually, most of these that I've seen, this is just a straight rod because then you've got an adjustable clamping joint for the other rod. But this one's got this pivot on the end here, which is well suited for an indicator. Let's see what else we got in here. I could tell just by looking that this box is going to be a much better box than the previous two. Got a lot more small little interesting boxes, I think. So then I spotted this, and the cheap plastic box, made me think, boy, it's got, whatever it is, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And then I opened it up and I was like, all right, another parallel set. It's like, well, you know what? It's a nice parallel set. It's not all rusted. It looks like it's in great shape, which is good. It's sized in 1 3/4 all the way up to. Well, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way here. From 3/4 all the way up to 1 3/4, and they've got the standard hole dimension in them. So I was like, oh, okay. That's a nice little set. Probably Shars or whatever, because everything else in here has been so, a lot of this stuff has been so cheap. And then the nice surprise, flip it over, and these are Brown and Sharp Ultra Precision. Precision. Aren't those nice? I looked these up. These are big bucks. So these are definitely going to be my nicest set. So anything I've had prior to this will have to probably go on the chopping block. You can see how they really mark them nicely. I mean, a lot of the other ones you got to strain your eyes to look at them and see what size they are. Which, if they're in a box like this and you've got them in their right location, you don't really have to worry about it. Just look at it and pull them out. But they're just the slightest little couple spots of rust here and there on them, but for the most part they're clean as a whistle. And it's a complete set of Brown and Sharp Ultra Precision parallels. Next up, this is made in China, 1 2 3 blocks, no mystery there. So this is your classic import, 1 hole per block, precision 1 2 3 block. What is nice about these is that they're brand new, never used. They're still wrapped in that oil impregnated or waxy whatever paper that they put them in to keep the rust off of them. So the thing that is a little unusual about these, to me anyways, is the fact that they are 1 hole per block. Okay, so I don't know what the deal is there. But I don't know. I've got so many 1, 2, 3 blocks now. I don't know whether or not I should keep these because of the unusual 1 hole per block, if there's going to be an application down the road where I'm going to need something like that. Or whether or not I should just blow them out on the eBay. And as it turns out, there were 2 sets there. So this is what they look like when you mistreat them. Oh, this is the pair. I remember this is the pair that I saw on the first trip out and passed on because they had rust on them. Okay. And then because I found that other set there, I just thought, well, might as well keep them together. But this box is pretty rough. The side is blowing out a little bit. The divider is kaput. I mean, that rust is pretty nasty on there. I guess I could hit it maybe with a Scotch-Brite pad. See how well it cleans up. You know, these could always be used as a set of beater blocks, but I've got plenty of beater blocks. Beater blocks are your 1, 2, 3 blocks that you use them in a harsh application. You don't cry if you accidentally ding one. And as long as we're talking 1, 2, 3 blocks, let's get this out of the way. I found this little box right here, and it's got no markings on it whatsoever. And there was no other half to it. There wasn't like a top to it that I could find anywhere. But I took one look at it and said, that's a box for, that's a nice little crate for 1, 2, 3 blocks. So I figure I'll find one of my pairs of 1, 2, 3 blocks. I don't know if you guys remember now at this point, but way back in one of the earlier episodes, I showed a feed unit for a mill, for the x-axis on a mill. And it had been mounted with standoffs, and taking a close look at the standoffs, they turned out to be Brown and Sharp precision 1, 2, 3 blocks that the guy had used as standoffs to mount this this thing. So I figure when I get around to taking those off of that, I can put them in here. I happen to still have this handy here, so this is this unit, and you can see they shimmed and mounted a couple of precision, ultra precision Brown and Sharp 1, 2, 3 blocks. So we'll take those off of there and we'll give them a good home. This is a set of V blocks, B type, made in Japan, stock number 110, size 4-inch, number 4, 1 pair. Interesting pair of V blocks. Kind of neat. Narrow little set. You know what I like about these is, if I'm not mistaken, I think the reason why they're designed hollow like this is so that you can just use a regular hold down clamp with a T-bolt on the bed of your machine to hold these in place. So that's interesting. I don't know whether or not every time the guy got done using these, did you put them away and wrap them up wrap one up with bubble wrap so that it didn't bang into the other one, maybe? Because they do appear used. Oh, actually, if we want to get more specific on the manufacturer, well, no, that's just, he folded up a piece of paper, which looks like it was an advertisement for Johnson Drill Head Company. And must have stuck it in the back there, maybe to just add a little extra cushion to the bottom of this box for these V blocks. All right, so these V blocks are, you know, nothing to get overly excited about, but still a nice little set. I'll probably keep those. They're different enough from all of my other V blocks. This, I definitely grabbed this for resale because I know for a fact that I already have one of these. I forgot where I picked up the other one I have. It didn't come with the box, but, you know, I was able to figure out what it was. And it's a tapping head. What this is basically when you want to use a small tap and you have a round rod. So say I wanted to tap a hole on, well, let's just pretend I drilled a hole in this shaft on this screwdriver. So this is made so that this will sit right on there, see, and keep alignment. Okay, so that you can guide the tap straight in. So a handy little thing. Self-aligning tap and reamer holder. Oh, okay, so then you can use a tapping fixture, blah, 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 blah. MTH0390. Made in India. Made in India. I think these still go for like 30 or 40 bucks new, believe it or not. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, I might be wrong on a lot of things. Get used to it. By now, you guys are hanging in here with me on this channel. You know. Hey, I'm on the brink. I'm on the brink of 4,000 subscribers. So, thanks for hanging in there with me. And you know, if you get a chance, if you're internet savvy and you know how to do it, you know, think about sharing my channel if you get a chance. That'd be great. And by the way, the 4,000 mark is just a little personal thing for myself. It means nothing in the world of YouTube. The next milestone is 5,000 subs. Moving right along, we have a little Sentech magnetic. I'm having a real problem speaking this morning. Magnetic V-block, small. Got a SKU here of P9907 and it's made in India. It's made in India. So imagine that. A lot of this stuff made in India. You know, I can't help but think of those guys that ride those trains, the train system. You know, there's no room on the train, so they hang off the sides of the train and they're on the roofs of the train. And I think the other day I heard that a statistic that said that they have like 25,000 deaths a year, train-related deaths because of that. 25,000 a year. That just blows me away. I mean, when you see the trains and the way the people are riding them, it doesn't seem that surprising, I guess, or it shouldn't be that surprising. But still, 25,000 a year. So you can imagine the guy who worked on this. Can you imagine if he had to get to work by riding on top of a train or hanging off of it for his dear life? This is really in crappy condition, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I'll take 10 minutes cleaning this up with a Scotch-Brite pad and see if I can't send this down the road for a few bucks. All your warnings, and then save these warnings. Oh yeah, look at that. Rust in the bottom of the box. That's a puff. 5 items left in this box, guys. Congress Tools Incorporated, 47 Catherine Street, Watertown, Connecticut. Telephone 274-3245. No area code? Oh, I've seen these before. I don't know if I have a pair of these now or if I've just seen them at estate sales. But these are probably carbide. Precision, really small, tiny burrs. All different shapes for doing really fine work. I think if I recall correctly that these can be pricey, especially like a modern set of one of these. So this looks like it's a pretty old set and it's been around for a while. But you know, looking at the burrs, of course, really, I'd have to look on the magnification. So unless I've already got one of these that I forgot about somewhere, I'll keep that. All right, what do we got here? Craftsman. Now this is interesting. Note where this is made. Poland. There are actually some really nice quality machinist items that come out of Poland. I can never remember if it's bison or buck, but I've seen chucks by that manufacturer that were made in Poland. I've also seen some micrometers sets that had been branded with another brand, but were actually made in Poland, and had read online in various forums people's opinions of how great they were, and that, you know, for the money especially, because they're imports. They're not Chinese or Japanese. They're not an Asian import, but they're a cheaper import. So this is, unfortunately, for all of that rigmarole about how great some of this stuff is, this unfortunately is just a vernier caliper, clearly made for the U.S. market and marketed through Craftsman. I wonder how long. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Craftsman has nothing to do with any machinist tools anymore. But I wonder how long ago they stopped making that. This has got to be a pretty early set. Got a little bit of rust there on the end. Got the satin finish here, makes it easy. I wish this was a dial caliper. But look at this case. This feels like real. This is real leather. You know, I mean, this was not a cheap junk pair of calipers back in the day when these were purchased. I doubt. Looking at it, this might be. This might even be characterized as vintage. Maybe this would be a good eBay item for a tool collector. I don't know. But I wasn't going to let him just get tossed aside. I'm pretty sure this is going to be another vernier caliper, but again, you know, could just make out the name here, USA, okay? And I know USA makes, they make some good rotary tables and indexers and things like that. I didn't know that they actually made small measuring tools like calipers and that. And this, even though it's a vernier, what's nice about this is it's an extra long one. This one goes up to 13 inches. Let's see, this is probably, so it's made in Japan, stainless hardened, clearly marked USA right there also. So I know these are the right calipers for this pouch. Got the fine adjustment there. Got the twin locking screws. You know, these are actually pretty nice. I think I've got a foul. Oh, what is wrong with me today? I think I've got a Fowler dial caliper that has the same capability as this. So this again is going to be a spare. You got to stop right here so this can't come all the way off on you and fall on the floor. So I wonder what they call this. Do they market this as a 12-inch dial caliper? Because, well, I mean, even at 12, you're kind of pushing it to call it a 12, because your 0 is way over here. So, I mean, yeah, you could do some brain cramping math and make that happen, I guess. If you go into some Voctech schools, there's probably going to be some older instructors kicking around that are still going to force the kids to learn how to use a vernier. And you know what? That I say that like that's a bad thing. There's still many applications where, in smaller shops that you're going to run into, where a vernier, knowing how to properly use a vernier, you know, using it on a dial caliper is an easy way for a kid to get his hands on it and use it, because you're not going to pass out, you know, rotary tables to everybody in class and have them sit there and figure out how to use the verniers on one of those. 2 items to go. At least the older looking boxes like this, we can hold out some hope that we're not looking at something foreign import like. Must have been a name here at some point of something. Well, it sounds like it's been carefully put away, whatever it is. He said sarcastically. Oh, hold on, right here. What do we got? Rolle, Switzerland? R-O-L-L-E, Switzerland. Roll. That's probably pronounced roll. I can't make out the logo other than Roll, Switzerland over here, so. Well, why don't you open it up, Steve, and see what the hell it is? Let's see, it's got the due date for calibration on it here. Look at, you think it's been calibrated a few times? December of '03. What the hell is this? Oh. Okay. This is a P Rock. ROCH. Roll Switzerland. Precision measuring tool. So this is a moldy oldie. And what we hear whacking around in there are these little extension rods, which are supposed to be in these little spots right here. Okay. That looks like part of the... Okay, yeah, this is this. Well, that's nice that that's actually inside there. This is the little thing that goes right here to clip it shut. But this is a bore gauge. An old bore gauge. Okay, so this is your point. This is your contact point, I guess. Come on. So this goes on here like this. And then you've got different points here for different jobs. And you've got extension rods here for different size bores. And the indicator, well, it looks like the indicator might be made by the company, the same company. Now this is interesting. The indicator says Etalon, E-T-A-L-O-N, Roll Switzerland. Oh, okay. Actually, if I look right here, this little logo right here actually also says Etalon, Roll Switzerland. So I have no idea what the value of this is. So if we take this out, the indicator comes right out of this. Oh, I think I'm going to keep this. Remember that Federal I showed you like a box or two ago? That was a real POS. It's funny, it's got such a small dial indicator on it. But, I mean, look at the range you must be able to do with this thing. So it actually tells you which anvils to, that's what this chart does. This tells you which anvils to use to do which bore. So 2-inch boring inches. You can do up to a 2-inch bore with this. But I don't understand. Why is this big long rod in here if you can only go to 2 inches? I wonder if this could be radius. So you would double that, 4-inch. I don't know. Oh well. Nice little find. And the final item today is another box we've got here. Shear Tomiko. Well, let's see. So far we've had George Shear gauge blocks out of this estate, and we've had a couple of Shear Tomiko tubular micrometers and one Shear Tomiko indicator, or one Tomiko indicator. Oh, this is a horse of a different color. You know, the one thing I like about not being able to get around to doing these videos until like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks after I actually pick the stuff up is I actually forget what's in a lot of these boxes. So I get a nice little surprise when I open them up for the first time. Well, not for the first time, but okay. So this is a Shear Tomiko micrometer set. And right off the bat, you know, feeling it, if you guys could feel this, it's light as a feather because it is true to the Tomiko or tubular micrometry company name. This is hollow. This whole black section here is hollow. Oh, that's actually a nice micrometer, and it's in really nice shape. Huh. What else we got? Oh, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra rods in there, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 extra anvils, and we've got an anvil and a rod in there now. And the only, I mean, there's a little bit of corrosion here on the adjustment wrench. It's got a little Allen wrench, comes with it too. And there's some light, I mean light, That doesn't even, actually, that just looks like it's dirty. I don't even think that's corrosion. All right, so there we go. Nice set. Sheer Tamiko. That's a sweet. All right, all right. I'm gushing over over this micrometer set. All right. Cold shower time, I think. All right, guys. Stay tuned for part 21, which is going to probably wrap up the May estate sales series, unless by some strange coincidence I end up connecting with the seller and go out there for a sixth trip. Take care.